Boom! And we're back. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Tuesday night chat with the Muskrat and Mr. Creole Catfishing. What's up, my Cajun brother?
I'm excited. I'm trying to contain my excitement right now. I promised Roger I would not geek out because of who's below me right now, but I'm so excited for tonight's show. I can't stand it.
That's it. So welcome, Stacey Gaston, to Tuesday night. Now, I know that you're not a stranger to Tuesday nights, but we this is how we do things over here, and we're kicking off to have a good time. And if you guys are ready for a good night, we kind of talked about what we was going to do tonight. If we was going to stick to a topic, or we were going to try to come up with a game plan. But honestly, I bragged to Stacey about how interactive our chat normally is when it comes to asking questions and wanting information, that thirst and that drive for information. So be ready to
putting y'all on the spot. Putting y'all on the spot. We're challenging everybody tonight.
We got somebody from Facebook that says, "What a trio!" What's that, buddy?
I was on telling people in the chat now. Y'all have talked them up. So y'all just throw some questions out, man.
That's
we will get started talking about fishing tonight, and maybe we can help you out some.
There you go.
Absolutely.
We'll start out. We'll say hi to some folks hanging out here in chat. We won't waste a whole lot of time. I know Sampy was first in the chat tonight. That comment actually, I think, rolled off the screen on me, but I know he was here. We got Uptown Chrissy Brown, Shad Daddy's in the house, 922 Crappie Barbecue. Big Wrench Catfishing, what's going on? We got Michael Winters, Harold Bolton's in the house, channel member. Thank you for your support. Dale Hayslip's in the house, Crappie Day Fish On. There's Richard Cluck, Fishing in Freedom. What's going on, my brother? Let's see, John Patrick Jr.'s in the house, Maurice Kaysen, Michael Murillo. What's up, buddy? River Warrior brother Zach Murray says, Semper Fi Marines, welcome. Becca Mud Tramp's in the house. What's up, Becca? Fishing the Mid-South is in the house. Let's see. Wolves Den Outdoors Official. I think that's a new one for me. I've never seen that before. Going up 205 Wild Action. Whew, I'm going to try to get through here quick. Michael Creech is in the house.
What's up, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
There you go. We got Jimmy Geiger, my neighbor. What's going on? Paul Edmonston. What's up, brother? Let's see. Double Hook Angling. Zach says, Stacey, we have a lot in common. I use up all the skipjack heads before Roger has a chance to get. He ain't lying. We got to flip a coin for skipjack heads when we're bumping. I'll tell you that.
Yep, I agree.
Hey, I believe in them. I believe in that head. I'm telling you.
What's up, Chris Elgato Azul TV? What's up, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. Carolina Catfish is in the house. Uncle Lou says, let's get this party started. What's up, buddy? Got Buckeye Catfishing saying hello to everybody. Catfishing Dreams Brandon, what's going on? Says, I say, what the cluck, KFC, chicken for bait? I said, what?
Oh, Brandon.
Oh, man.
Man, come on now. Kill him.
We got Kevin Walters in the house from
what's up, Kevin?
There you go. Monster Catfishing. Whew, about slipped my tongue. He'd had me for that one. Buckeye Catfishing, what's up, Jim? Steve Mosley's in the house. Boy, oh boy, they're piling in fast. We got 55 people tuned in already. And so we're going to let these guys filter in, grab a seat, get some popcorn, kick back, and get ready to rock and roll. But Maurice Kaysen, I think I got him. Maurice.
Yep.
Yeah. Maurice Kaysen said hello. See. I think I've got Aaron G in the house. He said, don't leave out any good flathead information. We want all that info. Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Somebody knows about your flathead abilities. There's Catfishing with Cost.
See, we got Size Matters Catfishing. See him in the house. Let's see.
Size Matters.
The minute I think we're caught up, the chat just rolls again. There's all kinds of new people in there.
That's all right.
I know we said hi to him already, but my boy Mike, we all fish the same area. I got to say hi to my boy Michael Creech.
There you go. You got to keep the locals happy. We got War Pig in the house.
Happy.
War Pig, local guy there, channel member. Thank you for your support. Chrissy Brown, another channel member. Thank you guys so much. Means the world to us. Keeps the lights on. Take down catfishing. What's up, KP? He's been waiting on this all day, he said.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Becca's already thrown out a request from Stacey. She wants to hear that Smackdown, baby.
Smackdown, baby.
There we go.
Yeah.
Won't be the last time tonight. That's okay.
I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Chad's in the house, feels the water. Thank you guys for tuning in. Gula Cat out of North Alabama. There you go. All right. Make sure to smash. Hey, there you go. Brandon says, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up. You know it's going to be a good one tonight. So
Our brother Chad lurking in chat.
Let's get Stacey up here, bright front and center. How's that? See if I can.
Watch me want to go to that. Oh, yep, there we go. That one. There you go.
That's the one. That's the one.
I like that.
All right. Zach says we like Stacey's energy. That's right. We do. So we were talking a little bit about before the show about, different techniques, about, differences of dragging and anchoring and what we each prefer. I think we all agreed pretty quickly that bumping is by far our favorite.
It's sure addictive.
It's up there.
But here's the question. Here's the question that I have for you, because we all know you guys put some big fish in the boat. Which method do you feel is your most consistent way of catching big fish? Hey, Paula Smith's in the house. What's up, Paula?
Hey, good afternoon, Paula. This is my go-to thing if I'm going to be targeting big fish, and this is what I'm after. And I use this a lot when I'm tournament fishing. So we're not, if it's a 3-fish limit or a 5-fish limit, I'm going to be anchoring. If I've got the current that I want to have, if I've got any kind of current, if I'm in a river, I am going to be anchor fishing. Just about the majority of the time. Now, if I am on the miss, that's what I'm looking for if I'm trying to target a monster fish. And so that's my go-to technique.
Okay.
I got you. Yeah, I was actually surprised to hear that. I know you do a lot of anchoring. We like to fish a lot of the waters that you fish, and we all see the big fish you guys put in the boat. I think the double 90s will probably never go away. That's
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't know. We caught double 90s. The year before that, this was crazy. The year before that, I put one in the boat a little over 100 pounds out of the same place. And I was waiting for Joey to come that night. And I had another one on a live feed somewhere from so many years ago. Mm-hmm. And I had to fish to the boat. I was by myself, and the line broke off at the hook. Mm-hmm. When I lost him, within just a few minutes is when my other pole went down, and I caught the one that weighed a little bit over 100. And I'll tell you, the one I had beside the boat was over 80. I'm going to say it was over 80 pounds.
Yeah.
I says, and then the next year we was back at the same spot, and we put them double 90s, and I'm like, I cannot believe this. I can't believe it.
So what has the eBay set records on the GPS coordinates for that spot?
Yeah, no kidding, right? Bidding starts now.
He needs to make sure he's taking his SD card out of his units and taking them with him wherever he goes.
Somebody go snatch that.
That's right. That's right.
When I'm looking for big fish, though, whether it's blues or flatheads, I do look for a little bit of something different versus blues and flatheads, but it's not a whole lot of difference. I like to be anchor fishing if I've got the current that I want. I don't want it really so fast, and I don't want it, so slow. I want it. There's a certain current that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And if I'm looking for flatheads, I am just looking for structure. And I really don't look for no really deep water. I like something a little bit around that 15 footish or between 15 and 35 foot is really what I like. And getting really right close to the bank and just starting hitting that structure. And if I find something that's a good top, and I'm going to say this, when I talk about a good top, I'm not talking about a tree that fell down last year and it still got a lot. I'm looking for something that's really old, that most of the time you don't even see it on your grab, but when you scan by, you can just see a lot of debris on the bottom. I
Mm.
really like stuff like that. Look, you know, if you look at it on your top, you're like, that tree, that stuff has been there for so long, it's starting to fall to pieces on the bottom there.
Gotcha.
And I really like stuff like that. And if there's any kind of rocks in there amongst it, that's just that much better. But I really like that.
Yeah.
And it seems to hold big fish, you know. For me, it does. And it just going there and being a little bit patient with it, you know, and just going down through there. And I'm going to share one other thing, Roger, before I move from this.
Sure.
A lot of people, I think, just miss a lot of fish because they go up through there. Now, this is me personally, because they ask me all the time, says, well, did you mark that fish? Did you see that fish? Guys, there's a lot of the fish that we catch, I never see them on that graph. I'm just looking at this structure. I look at it and I'm like, there's got to be a fish in here. And from what I can tell, we have caught some big fish off a structure and never see them. They just hide in there. You just don't, to me, they just hid somehow or another. I don't know if they just down in the mud or up under that stuff. But, you know, then you pull out 150, 60, 70 pounds, and you're like, there he is. And I think a lot of people just overlook that because they're really trying to find that fish on that graph. He's there in that structure. You just don't see him.
Yeah, I agree. Especially coming, you know, fishing for flatheads. Those flatheads are going to lay.
Yes, sir.
They might not be on the bottom. That tree may be, you know, it may be 10 foot off the bottom, but he's still laying on a branch. He's not, you know, he's not suspended there. And so the target separation is very difficult.
And that's the thing, Roger, that I think, and I may be wrong about this, but if there's not separation from him, from that tree or something, it's going to be almost impossible to see him. And so I think we put a lot of confidence in, hey, I'm looking for this fish. And I'm like, hey, man, once you find out where they at, just fish this structure and just take my advice for it. There's a big one in there.
There you go.
And I think, and you make a great point with that because, and I'm speaking for myself as well, because I find myself doing this a lot. It's the confidence and then the willingness to not catch one, but just being that confident that, hey, I think a fish is there. We're going to take the time.
Yeah. And I think that comes with time on the water.
Hey, 100%.
And that's something that, you know, you just can't, I cannot stress this enough, that once you had time on the water, once you see what has produced over and over again, you start to have confidence in certain things. And I'm not saying we're going to catch it every time, but I got confidence. We've caught good fish just like this. And I'm like, we're going to sit on this for 30 or 40 minutes, and we're looking for this big fish in here.
Zach Murray's asking, what is the mostest important thing you take with you when you go fishing?
Well, the bait.
The bait.
There you go. It's all about that bait. You know, that's what we say here, baby.
It's all about
I want to share two thoughts on this. And fresh bait is a go-to thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, hey, somebody said something a while ago about flatheads. And this is my opinion. I wouldn't even go flathead fishing if I don't have fresh bait. To me, it's important. Now, I've done really good catching blues and big blues on some good, fresh, frozen skipjack. But if I'm going to them flatheads, I really want some fresh bait. And I'm going to tell you one more thing, and this just come to my mind when he put up there what's one of the most important things. And this is being prepared to catch a big fish. Just being prepared to catch a big fish. And it's so simple, but so many times you come back to the boat ramp, and what's the story that everybody has?
Oh, yeah.
He broke my line. He got away from me. Yeah. I should have had this. I'm like, man, we was just not prepared to catch the big fish.
That's Stacey. That's hilarious. And the reason we're laughing is because that verbatim is what I tell most people when they ask, what's the most important thing in catching big fish? Be prepared to catch every rod you throw. Could be that monster.
It could be
every cast.
Everyone. And we was all fishing, and Joey, I'll probably bring this up a good bit, and he can testify to this. We had fished all day, and we had caught several fish, and we was just out just fishing, no tournament, nothing. And man, I had one just smash my rod. I'm talking about he buried it. At this time, I was fishing with 50-pound leader. That's what I was fishing with. 40-pound main line, 50-pound leader. And this is 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He buried this thing. We done caught several fish. I hadn't checked my line or nothing. When I reached up to got that fish, it just popped loose. And I thought, well, he spit it out. I reeled it all the way in, and my leader line's broke about halfway. I felt embarrassed about it because I'm like, Joey said, what happened? I said, man, my line broke. And I told Joey that day, I says, I'm not saying it may not happen again, but it's going to be hard to happen again because when he called me that afternoon, he said, where you at? We was headed home. I says, I'm in Bass Pro Shop. He said, what you doing? I said, I'm getting me some 100-pound leader line. And, people laugh at me. Do you really need something that big? I said, maybe not, but I'm prepared to catch a big. And the way I look at it, that leader line has taken a lot of abuse and abrasion.
Yeah.
And you know what? 100-pound leader line is, I don't need nothing that big to catch a big fish. But if this down there around rocks and stuff, that 100-pound leader line is able to take some abrasion and me still have 50 or 60-pound test still on it after you could have had them too.
It's about the diameter of the line. It has nothing to do with the pound test. Nothing.
Bingo, you hit it right there. It's about the diameter of the line.
If they made 40-pound tests, the diameter of a 150-pound test, I'd buy them out. I'd buy them out of stock right now.
No doubt. Yeah, because you want something, and I dealt with some people before, and they was always getting the line broke and this, that, and another. And I said, something's wrong because 40 pounds is my main line. I'm like, hey, we pull off anchor sometime trying to break 40-pound test line. But what breaks your line is it's getting cut somewhere along the way. It's getting abrasion, it hit a rock or something like that. Or if your hook happens to get inside that fish's mouth just a little bit, that it's got to come past that pad. Listen, he shakes his head 3 times. He done cut your line if he got 40 pounds. He's going to have to shake it more than 3 times to cut that 100 pounds.
Oh, yeah. He's got to work for it if he wants to break that one. You better believe it. And especially a blue. There are some people that just haven't caught a 30, 40, 50-plus pound blue and feel that tooth patch. It feels like 2 steel brushes. Yeah. It's hard to – if you've never felt one that big and understand how rough it is, that is a killer for line. Yeah.
If you don't think it, just grab a hold to him and let him chomp down on your hand and shake his head about 3 times. And I'm telling you, you're going to be bleeding like an old stuck hog,
Yeah, absolutely. It'll tear the hide clean off the back of your hand. I've had it happen.
It'll tear it up.
All right, we got a couple comments. I believe we got Joey Kirby in the house. Says that you stopped at Bass Pro Shop on the way home, but it was a gar.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let me say this. Let me just take just a few seconds here. We was off fishing one time, and I hung one, and I didn't set the hook or something other, and I told my wife, I said, it's just an old gar. And so it went on. Every time I missed one or something, I said, that's just an old gar. And my wife asked me, said, why did you say that? I said, well, I'd hate to think I missed a big old catfish.
It makes you feel a little bit better somehow.
So every time I missed one, Joey said, what was that? An old gar? I said, that's what it was.
Exactly what it was.
All right. Paula asked earlier, she said, when you're anchored up, do you like to walk baits back to the structure?
We have anchored and walked in current where we got that, but most of the time I have spotted that piece of structure, I have marked it on my graph, and I have positioned my boat. I know how far it is behind my boat to that piece of structure, and I just really want to pull up, throw back, and just let my stuff just sit. And I'm not a type guy that every 5 minutes I want to reel them in. I'm like, don't touch them. I want it just to sit there for at least 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I got you. Aaron G is asking do you crimp that 100-pound leader? I
do crimp it. I just started crimping here within the last 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people.
I seen some guys doing this, so I went and bought me some, and I really like that right there. I crimp all my stuff up now.
I see a lot of people going to that, and people that I trust, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but it looks.
I'm gonna tell you what I done. I don't know what everybody else done, because my first time doing this, I tied me a bunch of them up here in the house, and I went out there and hooked them to something. I went to pulling on it. I'm like, I've got to have confidence in this right here.
All right. Well, we wouldn't get through an episode without bringing up food at some point. So Brandon went ahead and knocked it out of the park early. He said the most important question tonight of all is what is on the boat for snacks.
Well, I'm gonna tell you about me. I do like some little sweet tarts and stuff like that. But now I'm gonna be eating most of the time peanut butter crackers. And if Joey's on here, I will have me a jar of pickled pig feet. I don't have to worry about nobody getting my snacks from me.
I thought somebody was joking when they said that you ate that. I really thought.
No, man.
That came up yesterday. I was in a live stream yesterday, and we talked about you coming on the show, and they said, "Oh, he's like them pickled pig's feet." And I was like, "Ain't no way."
I thought they were joking.
Hey, I'm gonna break a jar of them out, man. Hey. One good thing about it, I like them, but you ain't got to worry about nobody taking your snacks.
That's right. You're 100%. That's guaranteed. Hey, real quick, I'll say thank you to Becca. She's been out there dropping the link to Smackdown Catfishing's website and the Facebook page. Thank you, Becca. We actually haven't even got into the business side of things. To be completely honest, we've been so starstruck and happy to have Stacey on the show. We just gonna let him go.
Yep.
But we will circle around and talk about the business side, because I got my boats loaded down with Smackdown rod holders, and man, I'll be honest with you, it's been a while since I've been on the website, and man, oh man, have you guys added a lot to the business over the last year or two. We'll circle back around to the business stuff here later on. Let's keep talking about some fishing. So somebody asks, has anyone tried fuse welding instead of crimping knots? I don't think I've seen that happen yet.
I don't think so. I've seen the little tools to do it. I haven't seen anybody do it on big stuff, like big leaders. I've seen them do it for the small line.
What's up, Jody? Somebody. That might be Joey. He hasn't gave us permission to see his name yet. Pig knuckles for Stacey.
That's what he calls him. That's gotta be Joey.
Him. That's what he calls him. Gotta be.
There we go. There you go. Stacey Gaston is the man. Smackdown for life. All right.
And I will say this: it's been quite a few months now, but we were looking to put some Smackdown rod holders on my dad's boat whenever we got it all set up. But because of his fabric, the way he had his fabricated, it just needed something funny. I'm like, man, I don't know if anybody's sell. So keep in mind, Mr. Stacey's now, but especially back then, no idea who I am. Okay, don't know me from Adam, right? So I messaged him on Facebook, off at random. Hey, I need something with a full thread, 2.5 inches long. I'm thinking, just take a shot, right? Same day, not only answers me back, but goes into detail on exactly what I need, included the link and everything, and say, here you go. I got your product. Let me know if I can help you. and he don't know who I am. So I'm like, that right there is customer service. You can't get no better than that.
That's a true story, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Kevin Walters in the house says most versatile rod holders on the planet. There are a lot of options with these rod holders, especially with the new ones with the pipe on them, get the vertical position. Our brother Skip's in the house from Clearview Outdoors. He says, hello, everybody. I'm running late. We got 82 people in the house right now.
Ooh, we got a good crowd. I love it.
Good crowd.
Fish on Ed Evans.
Sorry, I took that away from you. I saw this Facebook user says, does Stacey Gaston like deep water fishing?
I'm not. I will say this: 50 foot is deep for me.
Okay,
I got you.
I mean, that's something I don't. I'm not the. I don't go into that 80, 90 foot stuff. You know, I just don't do it. If you see me fishing 50 foot, I'm like, I'm in deep enough water. I really like that. If I'm deep, I'm 40, 50-ish. I'm good with that, you know. And if I'm dragging baits and come out of something and come out of 30 foot and go into 60 or 70, you know, I just keep going and come up through there. But just particularly going to something that say, hey, 80, 90 foot deep, I don't do that.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. When we get the opportunity to get in deep water, we generally don't target 60, 70 or better. We have.
What's up, Jamie?
Jamie's in the house too. We had Richard in here as well with JR Fishing.
The whole family.
I met them a while back, man. I'm telling you, we had a blast. We was in Gunnersville at the Tennessee River Fishing Expo when they come to Alabama. So I got to meet them then, and hey, good to see y'all tonight. They're
awesome. I enjoyed spending time with them and talking to them. A couple folks had comments. Fish on Ed Evans said that he just put rod holders on the boat that you had sent him. He said thank you for that. War Pig in the House says, "What's your favorite rig and bait?" That's a good question.
My favorite. This is what my favorite bait is going to be skipjack. That is my favorite bait, and if I want that fish, I want the skipjack head. That's what I'm going to be fishing with. I really like a piece of bait. If I'm fishing for a big one, I want a piece of bait about the size of my hand. I want to come back from the head, cut it back there about halfway the gut. I'm going to hook him right through the bottom and top lip, and I'm going to throw it out. If I'm anchor fishing, I'm going to have a leader of about 18 to 2 foot. With a and when I come from my main line to my leader, I've got a barrel swivel, and I just got some clips that I hook into that barrel swivel, and 5 or 6 ounces of weight I hook onto that. Then I just got that leader line there that's somewhere between 18 and 2 foot long. I don't have no float or nothing on that. If I'm anchor fishing, nothing like that. And that's what I'm going to fish with. If I'm dragging, I am going to have a leader line somewhere between 3 foot and 4 foot.
Okay. I got you.
And I'm going to have a float. I went to a peg float for one reason. That's the way I can adjust it. I can move that peg float up and down. So if I want my bait high up in that water column, I can move it back to my hook. And I feel like if them fish is buried in the mud, I can move my float back towards my weight and bring my bait back down closer to the bottom. That is the go-to. That's the rigs that I use.
Okay.
And I also do some bumping. And I use on that bumping, I usually got about a 4 foot leader on it.
Yeah.
And go with that with a little drop line with a cannonball sinker.
Zach's asking, do you have rod holders with left-hand threads?
Hey, let me tell y'all, because we've been asking about that. I think, Roger, you might have asked about this. we supposed to have the stuff coming. We have looked everywhere. It has been really hard to get left-handed threads that we could find that we could get at a decent price.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm hoping we're supposed to have some here. It's going to be, they told us about 12 weeks, but we're supposed to have some on the way.
I've been waiting. I've
probably
been waiting the longest, patiently.
I think you have too, because every time Peter calls me, he said, Roger's still waiting for them left-handed threads. We have really looked. It has been, and I know the other rod cutter companies got them, but we have been looking for a Pacific one. If you look on where our rod holders welded to the stem, we have like a hex head there. And I wanted one with that so we can get I got that for a reason, so there's a good weld on both sides.
Yeah.
So it makes that rod holder really, really strong. And so that's what we've been really looking for. And we could find them, but the prices were outrageous. But we're supposed to have some coming.
All right.
Hey, I promise you, when they get here, we will have them things. Roger, we're gonna get you some.
Roger gets the first shipment.
There we go.
I love it.
James Smith in the house also says that he also used some ghost floats. We like Patriots ghost floats as well.
And I'm gonna let me share this. I'm gonna share another technique that I use, which has been really good for me of putting big fish in the boat. You asked me earlier, anchor fishing is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But there is another technique. I'm gonna share something here. I don't know if I've shared this many times, but I'm gonna share it today on this program.
There we go. 92 people are anxiously waiting on the edge of their seats.
I'm gonna say this, and they need to tune in and listen to this. But now you're gonna have confidence in it.
Okay.
I will be up by the dam, and I move out of that swift water and move into still water. To water where it's not even moving. Over there by the spillways, if they're not even over there, nobody fishes this. Nobody. And I will suspend drift. And if it's a 10 foot or so, I will take them floats that he's talking. And a lot of times it's really, really rocky. You get over there and you try to just maybe spotlight and just sort of fan stuff out, but you stay hung a lot.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would take them floats, run them up my line, and say if we're in 10 foot of water, I will go about 8 foot from my bait and put a float. So my bait is floating about 8 foot in 10 foot of water.
Right.
And I will just start to slowly troll just out through there. And suspend fish in this, that has been a really big success for me, putting some fish in the boat and putting some big fish. Nobody does it. One reason I think is because they got the mindset within fish is probably that moving water. They're not in this still water.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing it is it's so hard to fish it because it's so rocky. You stay hung up.
Yeah.
But I just suspend fish in it. I just slow, and I would tell if you're in the boat with me, well, if I'm in shallow water, I try to be a little bit quieter than I usually am, and we do make a lot of racket hoop holler, especially we get to fish.
Your definition of quiet and our definition of quiet.
I can only imagine.
But I find out with them ghost floats, when it floats like that, I let my line way out so it's way away from my boat. We in 10 foot of water, and we just start to just slowly just troll around. And you'll find out, hey, you can put some good fish in the boat that way.
Hey, real quick here, I just wanted to point out that we have 100 people in chat right now. Yes. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with us tonight and hanging out. Hope you're having a good time. Don't be afraid to throw the questions in chat. I'm trying to catch as many as I can. I know I probably missed a few, but here's another one from Aaron G. He wants to know what hooks you're using and size.
Well, I use a Mad Catter 10-aught XHD. It is a heavy duty Mad Catter, and it's like a hybrid type hook.
Yeah.
You know, I fished with Creole hooks for years, and when I seen this hybrid hook, and that Mad Catter is similar to a Creole, but it's got a little turn back to and that's a heavy duty hook. I fish with 10-aught, and I really don't know if I fish with anything any smaller. I'm like, hey, if he can't bite this 10-aught hook, I really don't. That's the fish I'm looking for.
That's my attitude. If he can't get it, I don't want him.
We was all fishing a while back, and my wife was on the boat with me. Her mom, my mom-in-law called, said, "What y'all doing?" And she says, "Have y'all caught anything?" Says, "No, not much." And she said, "Well, maybe y'all need to try to catch smaller fish." And my wife says, "My husband ain't got a hook to catch a small fish with."
Joe's in chat. He says, if Stacey gets quiet, he gets quiet. Something's about to go down.
Yeah. Yeah. Something fixing to happen.
Yeah. Big Blue Hunter says Smackdown edition. He actually made a comment earlier. I tried to hang on to it as long as I could, but I lost it. But Bob Dennon's in the house. Wants to know how long you have stayed on one spot.
If we are fishing for a big fish, I mean, we're going out this afternoon, and we feel like, and I'd say me and Joe, and we feel like, hey, we're looking for that 70 plus or 60 plus pounder. We have set on a spot 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
Hey, if I think that there's a big fish there, and I'm not tournament fishing, okay?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, we fix to sit up right here, and hey, I get rods and reels out and get my old pig knuckles out. I'm like, they don't know it, but I'm gonna try to sit right here and wait them out tonight.
Oh, the picture that runs through my mind of you just sitting back in a chair gnawing on a pig knuckle, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just chucking them out.
Oh boy.
I thought I ate some weird stuff. Oh Lord.
So it's no joke. It's no secret that you fished around a lot, right? So you've done a lot of different tournaments, a lot of different waters. Is there a bucket list fish or trip that you haven't taken yet that you would really love to put in the books?
There is a trip that I would really like to do. I just hadn't really had time, but I would really like to go up and fish the James River, and I would like to come back down and fish Bugs Island for a day or two. And if I was on Bugs Island for a day or two, I would fish it just what I said a while ago. I would find me a spot that I thought that would hold a big fish. And I'm like, you know what? I probably am going to spend the night right here.
We camping
waiting
out.
for that one fish.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I fished Zach and I fished the James, I think 3 times, maybe 4. We've always threatened to go over and fish. What'd you say he was going to fish? Mud Island?
Bugs Island.
Bugs Island. Oh, yeah. Bugs Island.
Kerr Lake.
Yeah,
Kerr Lake. That's where Dale Russell caught that one a couple of years ago, 140 something, 140 something, 41 pounds or something. Hey, I would love to know I had one on that big.
All right, here's a great question from Richard over at Fishing and Freedom. It says, when fishing for blues and current, what do you do differently in the winter versus the summer? Not really gear-wise, but do you change where you fish, different structures, or different types of depth?
I will in the wintertime, even winter versus hot summer. Winter, I will fish on in some shallow water. And I say shallow water, I'm not no real shallow water fisherman. My shallow water is 15 foot, I know some people's shallow water's like 2 foot or 1 foot, but I will jump up into 15 foot of water or something like that and fish. I really don't change what I do on that, far as what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I may just move up into a little bit shallower water in, like you said, 15 to 20 foot range and fish it. Versus if it was a summertime like it is right now when it's so hot, and I'm dealing with down here in the south, it's probably a lot different as you move up further north. But the water temperature can get really hot here in the summer. And I feel like if it's where that water temperature is up there at 80 something, and mid 80s, I want to fish in something that's 30 plus foot deep.
I agree.
I that's exactly how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
Dad's in the house.
What's up, Dad?
He wants to know what you think about rattles in current. I know this always seems to be a controversial topic, depending on who you talk to. But how do you feel about rattles?
Well, I'm gonna. This is from what I've seen. Me and Joey Kirby fish together a good bit. Mm-hmm. He fishes with rattles all the time, and I don't really fish with rattles. And I would tell you this: it's just, I think it's a matter of choice. That, from what I've seen, there's been days that he would catch more fish. There's been days that I would catch more. His rig set up a little bit different than mine with rattles. But I would think at the end of the day, I would think it's just a matter of choice. That's my honest opinion from what I've witnessed.
Okay.
Kevin says Stacey's a wealth of catfishing knowledge. What the man says is the gospel.
Hey, let me share one more thing about this now.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. I don't fish with no rattles. But if Joey Kirby is smoking me, and I'm like, he done caught 5 fish and I ain't caught none. Yeah. I'm like, where them rattles at that you got?
and I know why Dad asked the question, because because Dad fishes with me. He's pretty much always with me in my boat. He knows that I believe in those little. I rarely use like a demon dragon. I use the little line rattles. The little inline ones. He knows he knows I believe in them, and he knows that I believe I catch more fish with them than without them. And there's always been the debate is, do they really make a difference? And look, we catch fish on the regular rigs just like you do. I find in our area, especially in that super deep water that I fish, I have convinced myself that it makes a little bit of a difference. Now, if it's based on the actual fact, who knows? But I convinced myself of it.
Hey, and I'm gonna go back to this. You got to fish with what you got confidence in.
Yeah.
And I do believe this. I don't know if I can prove this right or wrong. This is what I do believe. I do believe that when we're fishing, that there are certain times that rattle makes a difference. But I also believe at certain times without that rattle makes a difference. I just think that I just think it's according to what's going on.
Yeah.
That how finicky these fish are. I think that I've seen where the rattles have produced. I don't know if it's something there that fish has attacked with that rattle. Then I've also seen times where I felt like, well, the rattle's not doing nothing, and these ones that don't have the rattles on them are catching them. I think it comes and goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we fish. I don't know how everybody else does this, but a lot of times when we're fishing, especially if we fish in a tournament, if you're fishing with me, I would ask, let's have all these rigs changed up just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if you catch 2 fish on one Pacific rig, we're fixing to start making adjustments. Do you see where I'm coming from? Because I really feel like that some days a rattle may produce, some days a rattle may not produce. I'm pretty convinced and seen this. I've seen some days where big baits work, and I've seen days where small baits work better. So I'm like, when we get ready, we're putting out a variety of size of baits. We got a couple different set of rigs. We got some that's got long leaders on them. We got some that's got short leaders on them. And I'm telling you, we catch 3 fish on one rig. You're going to see me tying some. I'm shorting everything.
You tying some stuff quick. What's going on, Adam? Good to see you, brother.
Adam Cooks in the house says, if you have Smackdown rod holders, you're guaranteed to catch more fish. What's up, Adam? We love Adam.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, man.
Kevin Walters believes that he says the vibration hits the lateral line of the fish and brings them in to investigate. And so, I've said my 2 cents on that all along, that I kind of think it might just hit their curiosity. I think that it may get their attention, but your bait takes care of the rest. As you said at the beginning of the show, it's all about fresh bait. If you don't have fresh bait, you can still catch fish on everything else. I mean, this time of year down here, we're suspended chicken. Yesterday we went out and fished, and if we didn't have chicken, we would have caught 1 fish all day. But they weren't good fish. They were small on average, but but we had fresh bait. We had live bluegill. We had fresh moon eye. We had fresh everything. For whatever reason, they wanted chicken.
Yep. And you know how it goes. And Stace, you fish so many different bodies of water that what works for somebody on a certain body of water in those conditions, it could be the total opposite for somebody else, different body of water, different situations. And I know Roger and I, that's always the disclaimer when we give advice, especially with me, because I find I fish weird conditions compared to most people. You know, the depth, the current is just everything.
Mhm.
It's like, keep in mind, I'm giving you advice based on what works for me. If you're fishing a lake with 20 foot of water, you probably don't want to listen to anything I say.
Yeah.
Not a thing, because it's not going to apply, you know?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Did I miss a question from Bill?
You know, you was talking.
There we go. Warpig wants to know if you leave your sonar on when anchored, if you feel that makes a difference. That's a good question.
I leave mine on. And
Yeah.
I've had some people go back to this same thing that we turn it off, it's affecting this and this.
Right.
I've never turned mine off, and I've been suspended drifting in 15 foot of water and catching right up on the boat. So it goes back to a preference, and if I didn't have confidence in it, I wouldn't. It goes back to this: I would not do it. Do what you have confidence in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share one thought on this confidence issue.
Okay.
If you have confidence in something, you will stick with it, and you will stick with it a little bit longer. If you don't have confidence in something, you probably have fished with somebody, or you've been there, you don't have confidence in it, and 5 minutes after you've been there, I'm ready to go. We ain't gonna catch nothing like this.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole attitude, your demeanor, the way that you attack the fishing totally changes. But when you got confidence in it, you're like, no, we sticking with this right here. I believe there's a fish here, So that's really has a lot to do with it.
Dad is laughing in his recliner right now because you said that, because he knows how I am. He knows he'll be like, nope, we ain't staying. Nope, we going. He's laughing right now, I promise you.
The way we keep ourselves on track, Zach and I, when we fish, we actually set a timer on our phones. Depending on the time of year, situation, everything, it's 20 to 30 minutes. And we'll wait it out. Like we'll get down, if it's really, really bad, we'll cut it off like a minute or two early. But we try to stick to that 20, 30 minutes depending on the situation. And we start getting more action, we add more time.
Muskrat, when we're tournament fishing, that's the way we approach things.
Yeah.
We are, and it's according, we're pulling up. We have done scattered out. We have found some tops or something. We're going to anchor fish. And we are really, once we anchor, once we throw the poles out, I'm looking over at my clock. I'm like, it's 7:47. At 8:15, we leave it. We're going to move down. We may not move but 100 or 200 yards. Pop another top. Same thing. Right. And we just got to try to hit as many as we can. And go with it from there.
Yep. And at 8:13, the rod starts moving.
Yes. Every time.
Hey, and if we catch one, I'm like, we add 15 minutes to it. Mm-hmm. That's the way I am. We catch one, add 15 minutes to it.
Yep.
It feels like we've been fishing with Stacey our whole life, because everything he's
all right.
He's right on track with the way we fish.
It's terrifying, I tell you.
Braid or mono? Somebody, Eddie wants to know. I think Joey's answering for you.
Mono. I'm a mono man.
Except for bumping.
I am a mono man. This is my personal preference of what I fish. Now, don't get me wrong. Braid is really strong.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't think 50-pound braid ain't bad, just try to wrap it around your hand and try to break it.
Yeah.
You're going to find out, hey, we need to unwrap this stuff. But what I have discovered, braid versus mono, that mono is more abrasion resistant than that braid is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so if you're fishing around rocks or trees, I would tell people, go with mono. If you're not fishing around that, hey, braid is going to hold whatever you tie into, and it's just not as abrasion resistant as the mono is.
That's right. Brandon over Catfishing Dreams wants to know what got you started into catfishing. That's a good question.
I've been doing it. My daddy and my granddaddy, we have catfished all of our lives.
Okay.
I had a good feeling that's where that came from.
Probably 15 years ago, maybe me and a guy that locally started trying to just really target some bigger fish. And really one of the things that made me really popular in this area is we started catching some big fish on rod and reel. Everybody else was fishing with jugs and trot lines and limb lines.
Mm-hmm.
And they could not believe there's no way y'all catching these fish on rod and reel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, they come out with an iPhone. I'm telling you, a redneck with an iPhone. Once they told me, said, you can video with that, don't you? I said, you can do what? And so we started just videoing what we done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And posting on Facebook, and people really started asking, how do you catch these fish? We see that y'all catching it, and I really started sharing all the information I could.
Yeah.
Because my desire was to see the sport of catfishing with rod and reel grow, and what it took me years to learn. I'm telling you, if you'll sit down, I will tell you everything that I know about it, whether it be little or not. But I tell you what I know.
Yeah.
And I think to try to cut that learning curve off, there's things that I've tried and didn't. So you're able to carry you and your son out, and you're able to catch big catfish.
And I'll tell you that comment right there, that is exactly why we do what we're doing right here.
Yeah.
Why Jeremy and I have such a passion for doing this. There are a lot of channels out there, right? And they all have their own niche, right? Some are it's kind of entertainment value, some are educational, and some are we have stuck to education and conservation for the most part on this show as long as we've been doing it. And for that exact reason, we feel that in order for the sport to grow, the more people we can get out having successful trips, making great memories, the more likely they are to share it with somebody else. And more people who care about the catfish that are in our waters, the better chance they have at survival.
Yeah, I feel the same way you do. And that's why I have always done what I've done, is I want to be able to teach the next guy down the road who's trying to get into catfishing how to do this. And I'm also going to share with him why I'm throwing back these big fish.
Yeah.
And, I always tell them, this is why I do. I get asked this all the time. Why do you throw that fish back? I'm like, well, first of all, man, I don't feel like I want your son or your daughter or whoever to be able to come back and catch fish year after year and catch big fish.
Yeah.
And, you can't catch 70, 80 pounders when you're keeping the 30 and 40 pounders, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so that's why I've always tried to just share that, and maybe it's been a help along the way.
Yeah.
Ponting Jody wants to know if so the sonar doesn't really seem to affect the catfish in your opinion, but what about skipjack? A lot of people say shut this.
I can't answer that. I don't have a clue. I do very little bit of skipjack fishing. Most of the time, it's about a 4 or 5 hour drive for me to go to North Alabama. And I done called a guy, and I'm like, I ain't wasting my time catching skipjack. Can you have me a cooler of 50 waiting on me when I get there?
There you go.
I want to go catfishing.
We've had that conversation many times, whether we just want to go ahead and buy some and get to fishing, or selfishly, we enjoy skipjack fishing almost, not quite, but almost as much as we enjoy catfishing when the bite's good. So,
right. If the bite's good, I got a skipjack rod in my boat.
There you go.
If they out there tearing them up, I'm like, well, we're going to try to catch us a few more right here. But to go up there taking a chance of where I'm like, we come to catfish, and I usually I keep me a bunch of frozen ones here at the house, because down here where I live at, they're so hard to get.
Jamie wants to know what keeps you motivated to continue your work in the industry.
Well, one of the things I want to see this sport grow, and I think there's some more people out there. I really think, and I could be wrong, I really think that catfishing has the ability and has what it takes to make it on a major national scale. Yeah. I think that it does. I think it has that. It just don't seem like it's had the right thing to put it together. and I know there's a lot of just stuff has got to get played out, and some stuff's got to get worked out. But you cannot tell me that if a tournament trail or any kind of a thing where there's a program that is on national TV, and you see them pulling 40 and 50-pound catfish out of a hook to them and fighting them, I'm telling you, moms, daddies, and sons are big on wanting to go. We got to go to Walmart or Bass Pro Shop and go get us some catfishing stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just really feel like it has the ability to do that. And
I agree.
I just want to see the sport grow. I want to see catfishing grow.
Becca Mudtramp says, and I know the answer to this one. Who would you say has had the most influence in your life?
In my life?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and the thing that has that I'm gonna say this: the person that has had the most influence in my life is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
That's right.
That's the answer right there. Yep.
That is the answer.
Right there. That right there is that. I'm going to share this, and that is the core of who I am. And whether I'm on here, whether you see me here, that's the core of who I am.
That's right. Our brother Skip over Clearview Outdoors, it says, when hunting for big fish, what are some of the key factors for consistency? That's a deep question, but that's go ahead. That'll take us to midnight.
I like it.
I love it.
I like it.
Hey, I'm going to just make it simple. Fresh bait.
There you go.
Fresh bait and being prepared to catch a big fish.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that there is one major factor that I look for that I will not pass by. Now, I'm not talking about tournament fishing. Tournament fishing, I put myself on a time frame. I got so many hours to catch this fish.
Yeah.
But we're talking about just catching a trophy fish. If I can find timber in rocks,
okay.
If I can find timber in rocks or rocks around timber, I just feel really good that, hey, there's fixing to be a good chance that we're fixing to catch a big fish. I just got that much confidence in it.
Two of the major food groups put together right there.
Yeah. And it's there. Timber in rocks. We talk about some riprap or laying out there. When you pull over the top of it, you can see on your sonar. You can see little groups of rocks, and you're like, man, here's some treetops. I'm like, man, we fix to pull up here, anchor, and fish right here. Looking for something like that.
There you go. Jody
now in your area, especially like the Alabama area, Tennessee River and all that, the rocks that you're referring to in your home waters, are those naturally occurring rocks that y'all get in the river?
Some of them are. Some of them is just like maybe riprap that they done poured out there or something other, and it just happened to wash off or something.
Okay.
But I'm looking for some kind of else rocks or some kind of other debris in them tops right there.
Okay.
I want to share one other thing on that, and this has proved to be really consistent. I love to fish the mouth of creeks coming into rivers. I love to. That is. It seems like that has been one of them things that has been really consistent of putting big fish also in the boat for me. Mouth of creeks, that's pouring out into to a river or something.
Adam Cooks in the house says, "Got a fish in the kitchen."
That's right.
That's where they at.
That's where we're. You won't find me too far from the kitchen either. You got to find where that food's at. Them big boys ain't gonna be too far behind. Oh, Jamie wants to know blues, flatheads, and channels. What's your favorite to catch, and what's your favorite to eat?
Wow, hey, flathead is my favorite to eat. Flathead is my favorite to eat. Bar.
Yes.
Yes. I do like. Well, flatheads and blues is running the close. Hey, close. It don't make no difference. I really do. I like catching flatheads, but hey, I really like catching 70, 80-pound blues too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There you go. Hey, Michael, good luck tonight. Be safe
get 'em,
out
Mike.
there, and stick you a pig.
Yeah,
blackened or fried.
Blackened. I'd rather have flathead blackened.
There you go.
Yes.
We done went to Red Lobster today and ate all you can eat shrimp, and I'm already wanting blackened fish.
I don't know if the people on here, how many of them have opportunity to catch flatheads, but if they never caught a flathead, I will say this about him: you're not going to hang into nothing that fights. That thing right there will pull.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Joey was saying he likes them both.
He'll put on a pull.
Yep, absolutely.
There's another question from Brandon. He's keeping it hopping tonight. He says, catfishing has always been known as a poor man's fishing. But your thoughts on the rising cost of boats and gear? I'm asking the toughies. Oh, yeah, He is. I think I missed a couple of his questions tonight. They're guys are just keeping them coming. I'm trying to stay on top of them. Love it.
And when it comes to that, and yes, that has catfishing has always been known as like the poor man's fishing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have no $70,000 boat today, I reckon, to go catfishing. But if you're going to be tournament fishing and trying to be competitive with some of the best guys out there, when it comes to trying to run in these big lakes, I'm not saying that the guy in the little small John boat can't do it, but if you're trying to cover big water and big territory, you've got to have a pretty good boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And today, as my dad would say sometimes, he comes over and looks at my boat, and I got a Helix 15 sitting up there and some more around it. And he's like, well, son, if I had that stuff, I could catch them too, And I'm like, well, Dad, I would, it does help. I ain't saying it don't. I said, but if everybody else is using it, I'm at a disadvantage if I don't use it, you know? So
right, yeah.
Look at where technology's at and what's going on. If you're tournament fishing, it really pushes you to try to learn everything and try to get the best advantage you can. And having good electronics and a good boat that you can run 50 miles, if you need to.
Right.
And it does change things.
Yeah. And depending on the body of water, especially when it comes down to the boat, it's a safety thing. I am not putting a 14-foot John boat in that river we fish. It ain't happening. Yeah. There's some people that do. I ain't. It ain't happening.
That I have people call me all the time. What is the one thing I need to look out for going fish Wheeler Lake? And my first response is, what size is your boat?
Yeah.
I says, now, hey, if you got a 14-foot John boat and you want to get in Wheeler Lake, if the wind's not blowing, you can get out there and fish all day.
Yep.
But if that wind's blowing, you better have you a boat that's able to handle this. Because I tell them, I said, you fixing to see something you ain't never seen before.
You better believe it.
And if you ain't got a good boat, I'm telling you, you ain't coming back to the bank with your boat. It's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to know your limitations of what your vessel is capable of. But when it comes to fun fishing, like I seen a couple comments there, when it comes to fun fishing, look at what I run. I run a 1983 Deep V. I build her from the floor up from scratch.
Yep.
And it doesn't. When it comes to fun fishing, and fish don't care. They don't care about your boat. They don't care how fancy your clothes are. They don't care about how fancy your graphs are. All they care about is the bait. That's it.
Exactly right.
That's it. You can be out there in anything that floats. You could be in a tube floating. But if you got the right bait and you put it in the right spot, then you're on to something. But yeah, I agree completely. We fish some tournaments. We don't do a lot of big tournaments. We enjoy doing some here and there. We really get into more of the fundraisers or veteran events and stuff like that. So we do some tournaments against some really tough guys. And you're 100% right. A boat that can run down and get where you need to be and get back. And electronics are they can make a big difference. I fish with Garmin. That's what I can afford on my boat. Zach's got some really nice hummingbirds on his boat, and there is a huge difference between the two. But
and like you said, right, you don't have to have this stuff, to go out and catch good fish. You don't have to have this stuff to catch big fish. I was catching big fish where I ain't have no depth finder on my boat. If I had one, I didn't know how to use it. I just had on that for the looks.
Oh man, Becca, you knocked us speechless. We just got $100 super chat. Says just can't ever pay enough for all this great information. Soaking it up like a sponge. Always an exceptional show, and this one has been awesome. You just can't beat it, Becca. Thank you so much for that. That means the world to us. Like you said, we try really hard to try to bring as much information and share and help people catch more and bigger fish or just answer questions. And so I know she's been asking a lot of questions because she's fixing to move to near the Mississippi River and the Ouachita River or something like that. And she has admitted that through the time she spent in the YouTube community, she has changed from I don't care what I catch, I just want to catch a fish and have a good time. It don't matter. I don't really go after them big monster fish like that. It's not that big a deal. To I want to catch a big fish. I've got to get one. Man, that looks like so much fun. We have ruined her. Ruined her.
Roger, I want to share one other thing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And this is for the people on here that maybe has not ever caught a big fish. And this is what they want to. They want to just try to catch a big fish, put some bigger fish in the boat. This is what I would share. I share this with a guy here, and I shared it with these local guys. If you're dragging baits, get out here and drag baits and get on that ledge.
Mm.
Get on the ledge, not in the bottom of it, not on the top of it. Get on that ledge. If you know how to run some planer boards, run you some planer boards out and just go to dragging baits up there. And I promise you, if you would do it day in and day out, you're going to start to put some bigger fish in the boat.
Yep, I agree.
And you can start to figure out on that ledge. I don't know what it is, but I've had really good success just dragging baits up a ledge. They either up on the top of it, on the bottom of it, or halfway up. And I'm like, hey, we just getting right here on it. And we're just trying to. But you're going to start. If you do it day in and day out, you're going to put some bigger fish in the boat.
Yeah,
that's it.
I agree.
I believe it might still be Joey. We've had a few folks from Facebook, and it just giving me the Facebook user icon you see right here. So when I bought a boat, I caught a fish out that day with no fish finder. You just got to be and willing to learn. So as much as we talk about electronics and reading graphs and talk about that stuff, being able to read a river, being able to read water, will actually, I think, it will put you at least in the ballpark way faster than your graph will. If you have Navionics and you have mapping available in the area that you fish, down here on the Ohio, we have no mapping. We have to make it ourselves. But the ability to read the water, see a current seam, see something that's disturbing the water, and say, hey, something's going on over there, and then go scan it. That is, to me, just as big or bigger than the ability to read a map or read a graph, is being able to old school read the river. And Stacey, you might not know about this, but last year I hosted an online tournament here where the rules were no fish finders. You had to go to waters you've never fished before and fish. And it was a 3-day event, and whoever caught the most pounds won. But no electronics, new water, who could read the water and get on fish. Yep. And I had a really good time with it, and I would love to see some more. I think we had a couple of local tournaments. I think it was actually Kevin Walters who told me we had a local event that did just that, and he gave me the idea. But yeah, reading the river is a big deal.
Roger, that reading that current is a big thing to me.
Yeah,
and that's something you cannot learn this out of a book, and you just got to get out and look at it. When we fish up around dams and stuff, hey, I don't even look at I'm looking at this water. I'm looking at which way it's going. And I'm like, we got to get in a certain spot. And that's what I really look for.
Yeah.
and you don't learn this until you get out there and just learn it.
Yeah, and you learn, because I know you fish a lot of current seams, like I do. A lot of our fishing is based on current seams, points, confluences, things like that. And you learn real quick that when you get your boat positioned just right, it's one or two of the rods that catch fish because they're just in that perfect spot. That's the sweet spot, and that's the rods that are going to hit.
That you gotta find that sweet spot. And there will be times I'm looking really. If there is slack water versus swift, current water coming out, I'm trying to get right on the edge of that.
Yep.
And I would literally, you anchor down, and my boat's I'm like, we're too far over this way.
Yep.
We got to move back over this way. And, you feel like, well, did you move in there? Yes, I moved 10 foot over. Is that much going to make a difference? Yeah, that much is going to make a difference. Like you said, you're sitting there in the one boat with 6 rods out, and the one on the far right is catching all the fish. That happened to be the rod. That's just how the fish is in that one sweet spot, and you just got to find it.
It makes all the difference in the world, especially in fast current. All the rods go to the back of the boat. You can't keep them spread out. So it's even more important to get that boat right where it's supposed to be. One boat width is everything.
It is everything. And we've discovered that just by having 6, 8 rods fishing out of the back of one boat. And that's within a 15-foot span, if that much. Right. And that one rod is getting all the bites. That's how sensitive that one little sweet spot is.
You better believe it. Hard. I honestly, a lot of times I fish 4 or 5, and I honestly can't remember a time where I've caught a fish on every rod position. I can't. I'll be honest with you.
I agree with you,
guys. This show got away from us. We're already over 9 o'clock, but there's a couple more things I want to talk about. And the one important thing is the business side.
Yes.
And so what we've done in the last hour is just pound Stacey with questions, and and he has given us so much information. But here's the deal. He fishes, right? He is a fisherman, and he is all about the sport, and he spends a lot of time on the water. And that is why, his company has grown the way that it has, is because this is, products for fishermen, by fishermen, from fishermen. Go ahead and break. Oh, I got to change my layout real quick. Well, we don't want that.
Whoa, too much, Roger.
Too much me.
Too much, Roger.
What happened? There we go.
We'll do this.
So, guys, if you haven't checked out Smackdown Rod Holders, and man, just the plethora of products that they offer over there, they are continuously growing. Just crazy amount of products out there that were designed and made for catfishermen, serious anglers that like to get out there and get it done. And obviously is most popular for the rod holders. And I could tell you from experience, I'm not saying this because Stacey's not giving me no big discount or nothing. I've been with Stacey for a long time, but one of the major things that I enjoy the most about my Smackdown rod holders is that there are no points that stick up. All right. One of the things I always complained about with my other rod holders was they always got hung on my clothing. They always got hung on my net. They were always snagging and hanging on everything. Even me climbing in and out of the boat, they would snag my jeans. I had one rip the rear end right out of my pants. And when I switched over to these, I really just love the design. There's several positions you can put the rods in. But if you bank rod holders, you got the pipe rod holders. There's just so many different products right here that you guys can choose from. Again, Becca has been dropping the link all night for anybody interested in checking this stuff out. For me, one of the biggest things, because I love the catfish community, is when I spend my money, I love to spend it with a good person or a good company that represents, my money stays, my local bait shops. My money stays guys like Stacey that are all about the conservation and the growth of the sport as a whole for the whole entire community.
Yep.
And awesome products by somebody who actually goes out and does it. There's a lot of people out there that are out there just to make money. They'll buy it overseas, they'll bring it over here, they'll mark it, change it, and throw it out. But I've been a big fan of Smackdown for a while, and I'm not going to do an infomercial here for you, but just for you guys that haven't really checked out any of their stuff. They've got rod holder bases. They got they're with multi-bar racks. Yes, I seen somebody ask about crappie. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of crappie baits on here. There's even crappie rod holders on here as well. That got a whole line of media site.
Yes, we got a smaller version of that.
Yeah. Anything new that maybe hasn't hit the market yet that you can give everybody a sneak peek coming up, or we don't have to let the cat out the bag?
I don't know. I do have one other thing, but I don't know when it's going to quite come out.
Okay.
That we're really working. We're trying to get it perfected. So
we'll just hang on to it.
Hopefully we'll have it out here within the next month or so. We're really working on that.
Gotcha.
Kevin says, I'm telling you, no comparison on the market. They're bad to the bone. Smackdown, baby.
Kevin's been a big supporter of mine the whole time. I appreciate that, Kevin.
Kevin's a good dude, man. He's
one thing that we started out several years. I think we're now going on our 4th year being in. One of my main things is our customer. I know we don't get everything perfect or right, but we try. If you spend your money with us, I want to do our best that we can to make sure that you're taken care of. I don't want to spend money with somebody and something not be right and them not take care of it. We try our best to do that. We try our best to make sure that you're getting the products in a manly time. We work really hard at that. Sometimes we don't always happen to make that happen, but it's not because we're not trying. We value our customers, and I just want to tell everybody out there that I appreciate all the support and I appreciate y'all's business.
Well,
that's awesome.
The big word that comes to mind when I think about you Stacey, and just your commitment and your willingness to work is integrity. The integrity that you have, and for the people that you work with that model that integrity, that's a big deal. That's a big deal to me anyway. So
it is.
But man, we didn't even talk about how long this was going to take, because we could easily take this to midnight. But I wanted to respect your time, man. I truly have enjoyed tonight.
Absolutely.
Man, we got to do this again.
All you gotta do is call me. I ain't been on on a talk show in a while, and so I hate if I got long-winded some, because you get me talking, man. That's one thing I can do.
Hey, what did I tell you when I first asked you? Great storyteller. That was one of my main things. I got to get him on.
Yes.
That's it. Stacey, we're an hour and 18 minutes into the show. We still got 82 people hanging on to every word.
Wow.
Like I said, I bragged about our audience to Stacey. Like I said before the show, we texted throughout the week, and I told him, I said, we have, in my opinion, some of the best audience members, best subscribers in the YouTube community.
Absolutely.
Folks that come in here.
Since you got 81 people on, don't leave them without this. I seen somebody ask about this a while in the chat, something about me and an alligator. Guys, several years ago, this goes back years ago. We used to go just fishing for brim, crappie, just whatever's biting. So me and a buddy of mine was up there. Now you probably don't need to be doing this. It's probably against the law, But we up there brim fishing, and there's this alligator that's about 4 foot long, and he come out there and was messing around. I was probably went to messing with him more than anything. And I threw my float over about where he was at, and he snapped at it. Well, when he snapped at it, I reeled it back in, and I run my hook all the way down to my cork, my float. And my buddy said, "What you gonna do?" I said, "Well, he snapped at that float a while ago. I'm gonna put that that hook right there by that float, and if he snaps it this time, I'm gonna catch him." And he said, "Are you gonna do what?" I said, "I'm gonna catch that alligator." I said, "I've been watching The Crocodile Hunter. I think I know how to do this right here." and sure enough, that alligator hit that float, and here I go to messing with him, man. I'm messing around with him, and I got him hooked, and I sit there and wear him down, and I ease him up over beside the boat. Now, I'm going to tell you this. In my mind, I was thinking to myself, if I grab this alligator by the tail, he's about 4 foot long. And if I pick him up, and hold him out from me, I don't think he's going to be able to have no harm to me. And so he got up beside the boat, and I done wore him down a little bit, and I just laid my hand up on his back, and he didn't do nothing. So I went ahead and committed. And I grabbed the alligator by the tail, and when I was going to just pick him up in one smooth motion, And when I did, I ain't seen this on the Alligator Hunter. You know what I mean? They didn't but that alligator can bite the end of his tail.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason I know this now. Because I had this alligator in my hand at the end of his tail, and he bit me on the hand.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you, this joker is so fast.
Yep.
That when he went to swing around to bite me, I actually let him go. And I was going to snatch my hand, and he grabbed my hand, and when I pulled him into the boat. So this alligator, he's about 4 foot. I'm telling you, he's at least 4 foot. He is in the boat with us, and I'm thinking to myself, he done broke my hand. Because I'm telling you, he hit it.
He tore it up.
My fishing partner with me that day, his name is Jesse Kilpatrick. Now, Jesse Kilpatrick, he went to church with me. And now we in a 16-foot Astro bass boat. It got a single console on the side. Jesse Kilpatrick is about, I'm going to tell you, he's at least 6'4", and I'm going to say probably 350. He's a big man, okay? Yeah. He's in the front of the boat. This alligator is in the boat with us, and I have jumped on top of the console. I looked up in the front of the boat, and Jesse Kilpatrick, 6'4", 300 plus pounds, is standing up in that seat on the front of the boat. Now, I'm talking about that little pedestal seat. You got to get the mindset. And I'm thinking to myself, this thing broke my arm, and now he's fixing to break my leg. Listen, I'm Jesse's pastor, okay? Jesse looks at me and says, "What in the HELL you gonna do with that thing?" I'm like, "Oh my Lord." I said, "My Lord, that thing's fixing to get me on done broke my hand. Jesse can't swim, and he's in front of the boat right here." I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna be in trouble when this is over." I know that I am, I was glad when that alligator was as scared of us as we were of him, because he went out the back of the boat, and Jesse looked at me and he said, "Don't you ever try that again."
See, I knew it was going to be good, because those of us from Louisiana, we usually learn that at a very young age. And when he said he thought he would be okay, we all knew, like, okay, this is going to be bad.
I think this is Joey.
Yeah.
That's why Jesse's not my fishing partner no more.
Yeah.
Boy, that is a good one. And you're so good at telling stories. I had the visuals down to a T.
And I can tell you now, we multiple times growing up, we've had a very similar situation happen to us. A couple of them bigger than 4 foot. He is not exaggerating about what happens when you put one in the boat. I promise you, it's absolute pandemonium.
It was at that moment.
I'm gonna tell you, like a buddy of mine said one time. He said, "We think about catching alligator." I said, "Catch him by the head, but whatever you do, don't catch him by the tail."
No.
I know for a fact he'll bite you from there.
Oh, when you said that, I said, "Oh boy, I said, no, that's not."
I seen the look in your face because I'm like most of us. We don't have alligators around here, and I sure wouldn't grab one by the tail, not knowing what it's going to do. Yeah, I seen Jeremy's face. I was like, yeah, he doesn't knows where this is going.
Oh yeah, I knew exactly where that was going.
Oh boy!
Unfortunately, I know.
Oh.
Yeah,
but he's right. When you're trying to brim fish and stuff like that, and there's those little gators everywhere, that's what they'll do. They'll come up and they'll bite that cork and they'll bite this and they'll bite that. A topwater frog for bass. Oh Lord, you'll catch all of them you want. I promise. They annihilate those things.
I ain't messing with alligator no more.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I ain't fooling with him. It didn't take me long to find out I wasn't Steve Irvin.
Yeah. So it's not like catching a tiger by the tail.
No.
I don't know. I ain't grabbing a tiger by the tail either. So, well, Stacey, we're going to let you get out of here, man.
Yes,
we have had a really. I don't think I've stopped smiling since 15 minutes before the show started.
My cheeks are starting to hurt.
Yeah. Woo.
Guys, I've enjoyed being on here with y'all tonight. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for inviting me, and I want to thank the people in the chat for being in here with us.
Yes,
Stacey, it is our pleasure, brother, and we'll do it again. That's for sure.
Oh,
yes, sir. Thank you.
I've not seen somebody say top 3 Muskrat show ever.
I like that.
Hey guys, we appreciate all the support, the questions tonight. I love it. You guys upheld your end of the bargain, man. We talked you up. You didn't let us down. You guys kept the comments coming and the chat flowing. We love you guys. Thank you again, Becca, for the super chat, man. That means the world to us.
Yeah.
And I don't think we figured out what we're doing next week yet. We'll have to get behind the curtain and see what we come up with next.
We ain't topping this, so I don't even know.
We just cancel. You just want to cancel next week? We can't.
We'll figure it out.
We can't beat this.
Nah.
All right, guys. We'll see you right here next Tuesday night. Same cat time, same cat channel. Good night, everybody.
Everybody.